Even back when Steve Jobs was still with us, Apple had a history of some interesting dealings, and whether that be with other companies, entities that they needed technology from, or even countries, there were some questionable moments here and there. Apple's recent concessions to China should be causing all of us a little bit of alarm. They've acquiesced to a certain number of things and probably compromised themselves more than we know, to the tune of a secret $275 billion deal and a change to the Maps app. Sounds strange? Let's get into it. Here we go. Now, The Verge is not normally a place that I go to for hard-hitting news. I mean, you know, they're pretty chill-tastic, especially in the technology sector and other places as well. But occasionally, they will grab a story and run with it and do a pretty good job. In this particular case, you have their headline, which is Apple's concessions in China reportedly include a secret $275 billion deal and one odd change to Maps. Now, this story here kind of outlines just how easily a company is willing to compromise itself in pursuit of profit.
This client is notorious for their greed.
And we'll get deeper into that in a moment. But the subheadline here is they make islands bigger on Maps. Strange.
It's very, big.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. It's good size.
So Tim Cook has pushed Apple's value to close to $3 trillion. We all know that. You can see that in the valuation. It's pretty impressive. He's done a great job from being a former operations lead to running the company, obviously after the passing of Steve Jobs. The information has relied on some unnamed sources for this story and lots of internal documents to peel back some of the layers to show the details about Apple's ties with China. In a 1,250-word MOU between Apple and China's National Development and Reform Commission, which is running for 5 years, is accounting for $275 billion in spending. And it includes a request that Apple reportedly received in 2014 and 2015 that a small group of uninhabited islands that are in dispute between China and Japan wants, and has Apple actually showing ownership for China, going by either the Senkaku Islands or the Diao Islands, sorry.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Depending upon which side of the argument you're taking, they, again, inspired a request from China to members of the Maps team to make them also appear larger, even when viewers are zoomed out. It's very strange. According to the information, not only did Apple eventually make the change, well, we already know that happened, but even today, with viewers using Maps from within China, the islands are still shown as larger than the territories around them, which geographically, they are not.
How can you see that? It's so tiny.
This is happening in a lot of different instances with China. See some real estate development deals that are not going particularly well. But the report also details disputes on everything from iTunes to iCloud and even Apple Pay. The figure that looms over everything is essentially a 1,250-word memorandum, which we were just referring to, that Tim Cook signed during a publicized trip to China in 2016. So we're going back, 5-6 years now? The way it's laid out, Cook went to China because of repeated regulatory actions that were affecting Apple's business. And by signing a 5-year agreement with the option to extend to a 6th year, promising investments and business deals and trading in China worth an estimated $275 billion, the aim was to avoid further disruptions. Kind of strange. Again, spending $275 billion in China to protect your business interests there. And boy, do they have a lot of them. Apple built a brand new R&D center in the country, and they started storing iCloud data for Chinese users there. They also have some critics that are questioning the relationship even further along the lines of privacy. And there's a reason for that. Its private relay feature is not available in China. And of course, many of humanitarian groups point out the issues with Uyghur forced labor and the assembly of Apple products in China. Well, that's been going on for quite some time. This is essentially a big deal for Apple. Outlining even more a codified relationship with the government of China, and how should I put it? Questionable human rights issues in the country that builds their products. When you look at your phone, when you look at your iPad, or when you used to look at your iPod, there was a decent chance that forced labor was involved somewhere in that process. There are a lot of other issues with what you can and can't do with your Apple device in and outside of China. For example, you can't engrave an iPad in China. It has to be done in the United States. They don't allow certain apps on their store. There's a lot of data analysis coming out of China that suggests that their apps essentially, from that side of the equation, are farming your data and mining your privacy. And there are recent stories, if you've followed, that highlight these issues. I've always had serious concerns when companies are so deeply embedded with a socialist communist style of government. Anything that's authoritarian is usually bad. And looking over the dealings with Apple has me questioning my use of any Apple products going forward. Maybe it should for you too. It's no wonder that many countries around the world are considering a diplomatic boycott of the upcoming Olympics, which we've talked about on this channel before. And we're starting to see some companies actually actually having their feet held to the fire. And I think it's about time. Anyway, just a short little bit of a video here today on what's going on with Apple in China and their $275 billion in spending to maintain that relationship. I wonder what they're getting out of the deal. With that being said, do make your commentary down below if you have some thoughts on this particular story or anything else that we've covered recently. Feel free to engage there. I'll be happy to get back with you as time permits. Be sure to support other independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely do need your support, and they just aren't getting it based on the primary algorithm here at YouTube and other places. Do venture outside of YouTube and check out other platforms like Odyssey, where I am, and perhaps even Rumble, where many other creators also post their material. And I'm to understand that even BitChute is becoming more and more viable. I'm going to stick with Odyssey. Beyond that, I'll end the video the same way I always do. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.